Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We will now start the proceedings of this session with the recitation of the Holy Quran, and I request Ahmad Kamal Shamsaib to come and recite a portion of the Holy Quran, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Now, as most of you are aware that this is a special session that we hold each year at the occasion of Jalsa Salana, where our friends from different communities, both civic and other leaders, come to attend the Jalsa Salana, and this is an opportunity for them to come and say a few words and express their good wishes to the members of the Jamaat. So this afternoon, again, we have a number of guests who will be addressing the Jalsa Salana. I would like to start with a good friend of ours, Councillor John Sargent, who is the Deputy Mayor of Merton. As I mentioned, John's a very good friend of us, and this is his first visit to our Jalsa Salana. And he is a member of Merton Council and is a regular visit to our Beth el-Fatou Mosque. I would like John to come and say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum. It really is a great honor and privilege for me today to be invited to address you. Thank you very much. As the Deputy Mayor of the London Borough of Merton, we are very proud that the Bait el-Fatou Mosque is in our borough. In fact, I'm even prouder to say, on a personal note, I'm proud that it is in my ward in Merton. So I have seen many times the activities of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community at first hand in their charity work, the hospitality, the truly wonderful hospitality that they give to people at the mosque. So I see them living out the beliefs that they hold on a daily basis. But today, my oh my, what I have seen walking around the grounds of the Jalsa Salana has been wonderful to see all of the additional things. I was particularly struck by not just the exhibitions on your history, but also on Humanity First, practical, positive contributions to a world that really needs your help. I was very interested to see recently the words of His Holiness when he when he addressed the European Parliament in December, particularly struck by that address where he called for a more united world, where countries' expression of outrage and concern should be applied evenly, avoiding double standards which are so easy to adopt in a hectic world. It was all the more effective, I believe, because of the quiet and thoughtful way that his words were delivered. And so he gave yet again a meaning to the expression, love for all, hatred for none. And similarly, back at the mosque in Morden, as I reflected at their celebrations back in June, I reflected that that mosque was built upon what used to be a centre to distribute milk. Can you imagine it? Distributing milk around the London area. And it just struck me that with all the high technology and the wonderful efforts that go into the mosque now, you're not distributing milk around Morden. You're distributing the milk of human kindness around the world. Thank you very much for everything you do for us in the UK and in Merton. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next eminent personality this afternoon is Councillor Patricia Ellis. Councillor Patricia Ellis is the Mayor of Waverley. She was first elected as a Cranley Parish Councillor in May 1995 and has represented Cranley West consecutively since 1999. Patricia is the Secretary of Parish Council and has been very active in local community as a volunteer with a number of charitable and statutory organisations. Patricia has been extremely supportive of our Jamaat, and I'd like to welcome her to the Jalsa Salana and ask her to come and say a few words.
Thank you very much indeed. Gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm absolutely delighted and feel very privileged to have been invited to this most special occasion in the Ahmadiyya Muslim calendar. It is wonderful to see how a following that began over 100 years ago with just 75 people from one country has grown in number to well in excess of 200 million people from over 200 countries around the world. I understand that a very important element of this Jalsa is to renew old friendships and establish new ones. It is therefore with great pleasure that as Mayor of the Borough of Waverley and on behalf of the Borough Council and the residents of Waverley, I greet you in friendship. You have a truly noble religion from which many people around the world can learn great things. Islam stands for love, tolerance, and goodwill for all. And that is very evident in the immense amount of charity work that is carried out by the Ahmadi people in many, many countries around the world. Meeting you all today in such pleasant circumstances is even clearer to me than it has been before, that irrespective of religious differences, you and your communities are always ready to serve humanity and mankind through, for example, your hospitals and schools, which is highly commendable and deeply aspirational. It is amazing and truly inspirational to see so many people from so many countries meeting here together, here in faith and a shared belief. And of course, the Borough of Waverley, we respect and enjoy the company of the members of your community who live in the village of Tilford and who bring such a wonderful cultural richness to the area. I hope that you enjoy your stay whilst you are here, and thank you once again for inviting me to this very special gathering. May peace be with you and also with your colleagues, friends and families. Thank you indeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, our next eminent guest this afternoon is Councillor Sachin Gupta, the Mayor of Hounslow. Councillor Gupta became a Hounslow councillor in 2010, when he was elected to serve as a councillor in Bedfont ward, and has since been elected as the London Borough of Hounslow's youngest ever mayor. Councillor Gupta came to the UK in 1998 and is originally from the historic and the holy city of Amritsar in the northern India, home of the Golden Temple. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome our Mayor of Hounslow and would request him to come and say a few words.
Your Holiness, Hazur Sahib, Mr. President, fellow mayors, MPs, distinguished guests, and the member of Ahmadiyya community. Assalamu alaikum. It is a great honor for me today to stand here with you and to address this 47th annual Jalsa Salana convention, which brings together people in the spirit of unity and brotherhood. I know we have many people here today, not just from UK, but also from all around the world, because I've actually personally seen volunteers standing at the Heathrow airport from last 4 or 5 days. And let me take this opportunity, as Mr. President said, I belong from Amritsar, and I've seen, it's only about half an hour where Qadian is, and I've seen the conventions in there, and I've seen the community come over there and welcomed in Punjab and whole India as well. And I'm delighted to see many friends from the Ahmadiyya Muslim community here from London Borough of Hounslow, who have worked tirelessly within our community for a number of years. We are honoured to have the Ahmadiyya community within our midst, and we are taught the Ahmadiyya community the importance of being a good neighbour, and the Ahmadiyya community as our good neighbour. And on a personal note, I would like to thank Mr. Khan for his, Mr. Latif Khan for his continued friendship. I know he's not here today for emergency reason, but his both sons, Zahur and Hanif, is here. So thank you very much on that for inviting us as well. And Ahmadiyya community continue to play a role within communities and throughout the world, with great relationship being formed through charitable works and in the participation of community projects, whether it's Community First or a charity for Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, as a bus. I'm in the wave of also invaluable work that has been undertaken by the Ahmadiyya community, both locally and nationally, and your tireless work for the cause of peace. And the Ahmadiyya community shows how it lives its faith by enriching our society, our country, our world. And I applaud your ethos for love for all, hatred for none, inspired by your belief and demonstrated by your action. May I wish the convention continued peace and friendship. It's my first, I think it's my 3rd year this year in the convention, and it's growing every year, which is very good to see. And a heartiest congratulations to all the Ahmadiyya community for completing 100 years in UK as well. And thank you once again very much for inviting us here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next eminent speaker has come all the way from Japan, and in fact, indeed, will be addressing us in Japanese. Minska Roko, PhD, is an assistant professor at the University of Aichi and Department of Social Studies. She's very supportive and a good friend of the local Jamaat in Japan. I'd like to welcome her and ask her to come and say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. من الأول أنا بتكلم باللغة اليابانية، بعد كده أنا بتكلم بالإنجليزي إن شاء الله. 2011年3月、日本は大きな地震と津波に襲われて2万人が亡くなりました。特に被害が大きかった石巻市でヒューマニティファーストは長い間我々を助けてくれました。彼らはとっても早く来て避難所が閉まるまでの6ヶ月間支援を行ってくれました。初期には食事を作ってくれて、後期にはキッチンを作って被災者が自分たちで自由に料理ができるようにしてくれました。このキッチンは被災者の自尊心を高め、彼らを非常にエンパワーメントしました。また石巻の人々は彼らの支援について今でもとても感謝していて、一人一人を名前で呼んでいます。 ヒューマニティファーストの援助は被災者からクリーンでスマートだというふうに高く評価されました。一言で言えばヒューマニティファーストは自分がしてあげたいことではなくて相手がしてほしいことをしたのです。この姿勢を支えたのは信仰だと思います。彼らはアッラーに見返りを求め、被災者には何も求めませんでした。私はとっても彼らの支援を素晴らしいというふうに思っています。また皆さんに出会ったことを神に感謝したいと思います。Big earthquakes and tsunami hit the northeast coast of Japan in 2012 March. As a result of the disaster, about 20,000 people are dead or missing. The largest number of this was in the Ishinomaki city, Miyagi Prefecture. Your NGO, Humanity First, came to Ishinomaki very early, and they stayed there about 6 months. At the beginning, Humanity First served food and hot drinks twice a day, and later on, they made a kitchen and offered foodstuffs for survivors. This kitchen raises survivors' self-esteem and makes them empowered. Humanity First members spend a lot of time with survivors, so Humanity First and survivors become so close. Survivors say Humanity members is my family. It was really brilliant aid, and it was really amazing. I would like to say thank all of you for 2 things. One, for your remarkable and wonderful aid to non-Muslims. Next, for what Humanity First and the Humanity community showed me a very nice face of Islam, symbolized by your slogans, love for all, hatred for none. And I impressed a lot. So thank you so much. شكرا جزيلا. ورحمة الله وبركاته. شكرا.
Thank you very much. Allah bless you. Our next eminent speaker is Benedict Rogers. Benedict is a passionate advocate of human rights across the world. Ben is the East Asia team leader at the International Human Rights Organization Christian Solidarity Worldwide, where he specializes in Burma, Indonesia, and North Korea, and oversees the organization's work in the rest of the region. He has traveled extensively to the region, and in 2011, he co-founded the International Coalition to Stop Crimes Against Humanity in North Korea, bringing together more than 40 organizations from around the world, including Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, and the International Federation for Human Rights. His current work is focused on Indonesia, where he has visited many who have faced persecution simply for their faith. I'm delighted to welcome Ben to the stage and would like to request him to come and say a few words.
Distinguished members of the community and distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum. It is a very great privilege to be with you today, particularly on this, your UK centenary, and to have this opportunity to say a few words. The motto of the organization that I work for, Christian Solidarity Worldwide, is a voice for the voiceless. And we have another motto also: pray, protest, and provide. Together with your wonderful motto, which is one that every Christian would be able to sign up for, love for all, hatred for none, we have a shared and a common cause. In Christian Solidarity Worldwide, I specialize, among other areas, in Indonesia. And I've had the privilege of visiting your community in Indonesia many times. On my most recent visit, just over 2 months ago, I visited your community in some of the worst areas of persecution in Indonesia. Displaced Ahmadi people in Lombok, your mosque in Bekasi, which has been sealed with 20 people inside it, Tasik Malaya, Bandung, and several other parts of the country. I saw, not for the first time, the conditions that your people live in, the fear that your people live with, and the trauma that your people live through. One Ahmadi in Tasikmalaya, which I visited just 2 weeks after a violent attack on your community, said these words to me: "Please let the outside world know that we are not safe any longer in our own homes. It is not free for us to believe what we want, to live a normal life. There are always people who want to force us not to believe what we want to believe. All we want is to live in peace and to freely believe what we want. That is all we want." One thing that has struck me every time I've been with your community is how much you live up to your motto, love for all, hatred for none. When I've been with Ahmadi friends in Indonesia, yes, I have seen, and with very good reason, fear. I've seen trauma, I've seen sadness, I've seen justifiable outrage at injustice. But not once have I ever seen anger, bitterness, hatred, or revenge, and for that I applaud you. Your community in Indonesia is going through the same experiences that Christians and Shias and other communities in that same nation are facing as a result of a serious rise in extremism and religious intolerance. And so I want to end by saying to you that we in Christian Solidarity Worldwide, which as an organization works for freedom of religion and belief for all, we are not just your friends, we are not just your allies. I believe that we are your brothers and sisters, and we will never ever stay silent about the persecution of your community around the world. We will not rest until your community in Indonesia and indeed in Pakistan and many other parts of the world, as well as people of every faith and people of no faith, until people of every faith and people of no faith can enjoy full protection for religious freedom and can choose, change, practice and share peacefully their beliefs. So as long as there is an Ahmadi mosque that is closed, a church that is bulldozed, an Ahmadi or a Christian or anybody else who lives in fear, we are with you. Our voices, our hands, our minds and our hearts are yours, and together love, peace and justice will prevail. Thank you.
Humanity.
Jazakumullah. Our next eminent speaker comes from Guyana. Honorable Manzoor Nadir MP is serving his 5th term in the current Parliament of Guyana, and after having held the office of Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce from 2001 to 2006, he has also become the Minister of Labour from 2006 to 2011. He now serves as the Political Affairs Officer to the President of Guyana. He is a member of the Public Accounts Committee and the Chairman of Economic Services Committee of the Parliament. I would like to welcome Mr. Nadir to our Jalsa Salana and would request him to come and say a few words.
Your Holiness, brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And to our non-Muslim friends who are with us, may the peace and blessings of the Almighty be with you. Your Holiness, distinguished attendees at this centenary celebration and Jalsa Salana UK, it is a distinct honor and privilege for me to be here once again, and in particular to bring a message from my President, His Excellency Mr. Donald Ramotar, President of the Republic of Guyana. So let me read what my President has to say to you. Your Holiness, Hajrat Khalifatul Masih V, Supreme Spiritual Head of the Worldwide Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat. Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of the people and the government of the Republic of Guyana, it gives me great pleasure to congratulate you and the members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat United Kingdom on their centenary anniversary and their annual convention 2013. Your community in Guyana is the recipient of all of the benefits that other religious communities in this country benefit from. The population in our country is diverse, the majority being descendants of Man-United Africans, East Indian indentured laborers, Portuguese, Chinese, people of mixed races, and the indigenous people, the Amerindians. Likewise, the religions are also many: Christians, Hindus, Muslims, Baha'is, Rastafarians, and others, with each consisting of many denominations. The Ahmadiyya Muslims also belong to the Muslim community in Guyana and benefit immensely from the laws of this country, which promote freedom of religion and freedom of speech and expression. I have been reliably informed that your community in Guyana practices its faith without any hindrance whatsoever, and the laws and constitution of this country guarantee them the right to so do. The senior government officials of the present People's Progressive Party, my party, have been attending the national conventions of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat in Guyana. The government of Guyana compliments and commends you, your mission of Guyana and around the world, for the work it is doing for the upliftment of humanity. I would like to take this opportunity once again on behalf of the people, the government, to congratulate you on your centenary anniversary and the annual convention of the United Kingdom Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and wish you every success in this regard. Yours truly, Donald Ramatar, President of the Republic of Guyana. Distinguished brothers and sisters, on my own behalf, I also want to commend and congratulate the Ahmadiyya Muslim all over the world, and in particular the United Kingdom on its centenary anniversary and this 2013 Jalsa Salana. For me, attending the second time, I am once again struck by two things: the kindness of everyone I have met, and in particular, in Guyana, your missionary, Maulana Mangat, who has been of exemplary service. And many times we don't recognize those who are so far away and may have the smallest, the very smallest of contributions. But in the world we live, and to uplift humanity, it's those small individual achievements and contributions that contribute to the whole. Martin Luther King once said, any work that uplifts mankind must be performed with dignity and purpose. And this is what I've seen in the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat. One final thing, I know many Ahmadis may not ever have the opportunity to visit the Kaaba. I don't profess always to be the best of Muslims, but fortune has smiled upon me that once I was allowed to go inside the Kaaba, and for that it's a most honored distinction. And that is the one experience I feel today at this Jalsa I also contribute. May Allah continue to reward and guide all of your efforts. Wassalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Nare Takbir! Islam Ahmadiyya! Jamaat Ahmadiyya Guyana!
Thank you very much. Our next eminent guest is a member of the British Parliament. Seema Malhotra is a member, as I said, of the Parliament for Feltham and Heston. Seema has served as a very special advisor to Harriet Harman, the previous leader of the Labour Party. She founded the Fabian Women's Network and has served as the national chair of the Young Fabians. Seema has always been a great supporter of the Jamaat and a very good friend of the Jamaat, and I would like to welcome her to our Jalsa Salana and request her to come and say a few words.
Thank you. Your Holiness, Mr. President, Mayors, MPs, Councillors, members of the congregation, Assalamu alaikum. I'm truly honoured to be here today sharing with you this year's 47th Jalsa Salana and to be celebrating 100 years of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Britain. To be here also with my colleagues Mayor Sachin Gupta and Council Leader Jagdish Sharma. I was also honoured to attend your centenary celebration in Parliament in June. I also bring greetings from the leader of the Labour Party, Ed Miliband MP. In June, he shared some wonderful words about the Ahmadiyya community. He said, your contribution to national life over the past century can be gauged from your ongoing commitment to the values of loyalty, freedom and peace. Your motto of love for all and hatred for none is one that we welcome and support. Indeed, it is truly close to the vision of one nation which we speak about in the Labour Party, a vision of Britain in which everyone is equal, everyone feels valued, and everyone has a stake in our national life. Since my election, I have seen even more firsthand your efforts in building strong community relations, your support for interfaith networks, your outward-facing culture, being open in your faith and demonstrating through your service your faith in action. The two mosques in my constituency, Betul Wahid and Betul Nur, play a much-needed role in social cohesion, and your charitable work in Britain and through Humanity First, and your National Peace Symposium speak volumes about your commitment to world peace. His Holiness at the Peace Symposium this year spoke about the need for peace and justice, conflicts in the Middle East and the war in Syria. His words from then ring true today. To strive for peace is a noble ambition and is something that the world has stood for and stood in great need of. If we look at the situation today, we realise the need now more than ever. And in a week when the world has begun a debate about military action in Syria, these words are a sobering thought. We know also that the Ahmadiyya Muslim community has continued to suffer persecution in some countries. In this, you know that your friends in Britain are on your side and seek the safety of Ahmadis in every nation. I would like to truly thank you for your welcome today and the opportunity to speak to you, and I wish you a wonderful convention. Thank you.
Nare Takbir! Islam Ahmadiyya! Khilafat Ahmadiyya!
Thank you very much, Our next eminent guest this afternoon is a member of the Welsh Assembly. Mr. Muhammad Asghar joined the Assembly after becoming Wales' first Muslim councillor, representing Victoria Ward and Newport City Council. Mr. Asghar is now a member of the Welsh Assembly and is, in fact, the first ethnic minority and a Muslim member of the Assembly. He is a very good friend, a very dear friend of the Jamaat, and regularly attends our events. I'd like to welcome him to our Jalsa Salana and would like to request him to come and say a few words.
Brothers and sisters in Islam, Your Holiness and distinguished guest, Assalamu alaikum. As you can see, my best friend, Mr. Hayat, just mentioned, my ancestors come from Amritsar, which is only few miles from Qadian, the birthplace of Ahmadiyya faith, where Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Rahmatullah Alayh was born, and he actually spread the religion, which is not only giving the message of peace, which actually revived in India, where the Muslims were going on the different direction. They were actually the time, after they called Jinnah, Kafir-e-Azam. Do you remember that? They also called Allama Iqbal, Kafir-e-Hind. So basically, that was a routine of mullahs in India at that time. My ancestors, they come from Mughal Empire. My ancestry comes from Bairam Khan, who was actually a Mughal soldier. But my ancestors, they all lived in Amritsar till the partition. My father told me only 20 years ago, before he died, that when he was born, his mother died on the same time. At that time, the next door lady, she also gave birth to another baby boy. She adopted my father for life, because in those days, there was no cowgate milk or any other alternative substance for mother milk. So my father survived. And after that, he had 9 children, 6 sons and 3 daughters. We all love Ahmadiyya faith. And that's the reason I could not find for last 40 years in Wales where were the Ahmadiyya group. And when they called me accidentally, nearly over a year ago, then I had a shock and surprise and love and affection. I went there and introduced myself, and I'm actually clinging to them since. Another thing which we all must know, the Mirza Ghulam Ahmad showed 3 main principles of life to the Muslim world. That Muslim world you must do with the tongue and the pen and peaceful way of introducing rather than jihad. No jihad, peaceful way of putting your point of view forward to the nation. Guess what? Indian Mahatma Gandhi took that advice and he became Mahatma for non-violation principle. And he became Mahatma Gandhi of India. And look at Nelson Mandela. He actually adopted the same principle of Mirza Ghulam Muhammad, non-violence. Look at him. He's a living legend. Martin Luther King, you all know. He's a gentleman who said, I had a dream. His dream was non-violence. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's 3 principles, only one was adopted by these 3 legends, and they become the biggest figure on this universe in our time. So, God praise you all, bless you all. I'm saying this, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad principles should be written in golden words all around the world. And message should be spread. We all know, many times is mentioned that the love for all, hatred for none. I think after the Kalma Tayyaba, that is one of the best words you can ever think of. So why this word is not going through this? Because love for all means not only for human beings, every living being, those who breathe, smell, eat, drink, there is a love for them. Look at these Muslim countries in the world, my friends. Saudi Arabia, we call them Muslim hub of Muslim world. We all go there. Can we buy house there? Can we do business there? Can we marry a Saudi girl? Can we trade there? No. Our relation with our own Muslim people in Saudi Arabia is not the same, which we are enjoying in this country. This is a great country. Europeans are actually they have adopted the principles of Islam. When the child is born, there's a social security starts. So my friends, ladies and gentlemen, and my dearest friends, we have only given 3 minutes. 3 minutes to speak to. But the fact is, there is so much to say. I love Messiah 5, Mr. Masroor. And finally, I will say great respect to my friend Mr. Hayat, Mr. Wasim, and Mr. Manzoor. Though, you know, these people I met, and I wish I had met them 10, 40 years ago. Our family, our friends, my life is devoted not only for Islam and Ahmadi, just to say the word that you are the true Muslims. God bless you all. my friends, it's actually time. So, but your journey to this part of the world, you're very welcome. As actually, मैं कुछ अपनी ज़ुबान पंजाबी च भी गल्लां करना चाहता सा, जड़ा कि पंजाब दे विच है कि सारे नाल प्यार, किसे नाल नहीं वैर। साडा ये कलमा जड़ा ना दुनिया सारे जुजारा होना चाहिए। तुसी ये यकीन करो कि साडा हुण जिंदगी च असूल होएगा कि पाकिस्तान दुनिया के हर हिस्से अहमदी नूं ये कहण कि ये मुसलमान वड्डा है, बेहतर मुसलमान है, बजाय कि इनू कुछ होर कहण दे। इस दुनिया नूं समझना चाहिए कि तुसी सारे इंबैसडर हो, तुसी सारे इंबैसडर तो तुसी उन्हां दी फैमिलियां हो। पाकिस्तान तुहाडे बेतहाशा लोग तुहाडे नाल प्यार करदे जे। ये कुछ लोगों ने सिर्फ अपनी कुर्सी बचाउण नूं तुहानूं कुछ होर कहता है, वरना मेरी नज़र तुसी बहुते मुसलमान हो जिहड़े कि होर लोग अपने आप नूं कहंदे ने वो इन्ने मुसलमान कोई नहीं। जिंदाबाद। अल्लाह हाफिज, खुदा हाफिज, गॉड ब्लेस यू ऑल।
Jazakallah. Thank you very much. Our next eminent speaker is the Mayor of Woking, Councillor Anne Roberts. Councillor Roberts was first elected to Woking Borough Council representing Byfleet Ward in 2004 and re-elected in 2008. Councillor Roberts has lived and worked for 6 years across the globe in Canada, New Zealand, Australia and South Africa. She's a great supporter of our Jamaat, and I'd like to welcome her to our Jalsa Salana and request her to come and say a few words.
Thank you very much indeed. Good afternoon, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. It's very nice to see you all here. I am very, very proud of representing Woking, which had the first purpose-built mosque in England, built in 1889. I have just recently learned that it was established by a Jewish architect. It was built by British people, and it was actually donated, the money was donated by the Begum Lady of Bhopal, which explains really and truly what a wonderful integrated society we are. This is only my main message to you, which will be short, is that respect and peace are extremely important to us all. I'm utterly delighted to see people from all over the world. I'm a travel consultant by trade, and I have travelled a lot throughout many countries. But this is an amazing and wonderful experience for me, I have Ahmadiyya friends in Woking, to see you all here at this wonderful convention, to wish you all well, and to pass out the particular message of peace and respect for all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our next eminent guest this afternoon is a member of the British Parliament. Matthew Offord is Member of Parliament for Hendon. He has taken up a wide range of issues in the House of Commons, such as tackling crime on local streets, Thames Link, free schools, school security, and settlement of Cyprus, student tuition fee, and reform of financial services. Matthew has strong links with the Ahmadiyya community and attended Jalsa Salana before. It gives me great pleasure to welcome him again, and I'd like to request Matthew to come and say a few words.
Salam alaikum. It's a great pleasure to be here once again this year. I know this part of the world very well, as I was born and raised in the town of Alton, just several miles up the road. So it is great to be back in my hometown. Earlier today, being interviewed by your television channel, I was asked, why are you here today? And the answer is very easy. My support for the Ahmadi community goes back a long way, and it goes back for the reasons I believe I'm in politics. I believe in respect and tolerance for all people. I believe the Ahmadi community should be able to worship any way they want in the world, be it Pakistan or indeed in Petersfield. I believe that Jewish constituents should be able to worship in my community in Hendon. I believe that Christians should be able to worship in Syria or in Egypt. That is why I'm here today, to show solidarity for those who believe in peace and freedom. I ask myself, what is the Ahmadi community doing here? But I know what you are doing here today. You are spreading your message of peace and tolerance around the world. Indeed, you do it in many other parts of the world as well, in countries as far away as Persia, Japan, in the Tamil community, Chinese, Germany, Spain, and other European countries as well. It is pleasing that as a community you have translated the Quran into different languages so that more people can hear your message. In places such as Russia, Norway, Italy, Holland, France, China, even Yiddish, people all know what your community stands for. And that is something not only to be respected, but something for me as a British parliamentarian to be proud of. I am proud of your work, particularly through your organisation of Humanity First, an organisation that is funded by you, that is worked by you, that is assisted by you in helping crises across the world. I know that Theresa May has praised your group for this work and your commitment to peaceful coexistence and charitable works. And for that, on behalf of the Government of the United Kingdom, I thank you. We currently are living in very difficult days. The problems in the Middle East, indeed problems in other countries. I think that those countries and those regimes could learn a lot from the Ahmadi community. They could learn a lot of love for all and hatred for none. So let the message go out from today that the kind of world we want to see, an international world, is one that can be built upon your idealism, upon your tolerance, upon your effects within the world. That's what we want to see. And whatever happens in places like the Middle East, we should always remember that we are brothers, an international brotherhood of man, and we should never forget that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Matthew Alfred MP.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is also a member of the British Parliament. Mary MacLeod, Member of Parliament, is a member for Brentford and Isleworth in West London, and also serves as the Parliamentary Private Secretary to the Right Honourable Maria Miller, the Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sports, and is the Vice President of Commonwealth Youth Exchange Programme. Mary takes a keen interest in poverty and international development and was an ambassador for ActionAid. She is a long-standing supporter of the community and who has helped us in many ways, and is also a member of our parliamentary group. It's a great pleasure for me to invite Mary here this afternoon and request her to say a few words.
Your Holiness, distinguished guests, lords, ladies and gentlemen, friends, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for inviting me here today to speak at this year's Jalsa Salana. It is a real honour for me to speak to such a wonderful gathering, and I bring greetings from the Prime Minister and the UK Government. I am the Conservative Member of Parliament for the constituency of Brentford and Isleworth in Hounslow in West London. This is my third visit to your annual convention, and as ever I am truly humbled by the sheer scale of this event, the meticulous organisation and the friendship, respect and hospitality extended to us as guests. I appreciate the welcome that you have given me and the opportunity it gives to me to meet with you all. I know this has been a very special year for your community in the UK. The 25th of July this year marked the historic milestone of your centenary. It was a day of thanksgiving, but I know it was also a day to renew your commitment to Britain, and as a representative of the government, I am most thankful for this. Your community exhibits the very best of humanity, and this is evident in your charity fundraising, your environmental work, service to those in need and promotion of peace. From raising millions of pounds for British charities, planting thousands of trees, feeding the homeless projects, blood donation drives, and promoting messages of peace on hundreds of buses and door-to-door leaflet campaigns. These are just a few of the ways that you support peace across the UK and build our local communities. I must also pay tribute to those of you who serve our country as loyal citizens in every profession, from teachers, doctors, engineers, civil servants, members of the armed forces. Yours is an inclusive spirit that was strongly in evidence across the UK as we joined together last year to celebrate the joyous Diamond Jubilee of Her Majesty the Queen and the success of the London Olympics and Paralympics. We saw a country united and a country that was proud to be called Great Britain. The values of the Ahmadiyya community are ones that can shape and change the world. In the world today, we face many challenges to achieving peace. This is particularly relevant given the recent events in Syria and also the persecution that continues to take place around the world. Now, more than ever, we need to work together to build peace across the globe. Earlier this year, I attended an event in Parliament to celebrate the UK centenary. His Holiness was the keynote speaker at the event. He said, "Islam teaches us to be loyal citizens, and we believe it is our duty to serve the country, contribute to society, and promote peace for all." There is so much we can learn from his wise words. Love for all, hatred for none is a simple, inclusive and inspiring motto and is supported by the other key principles I particularly admire and aspire to: loyalty, freedom, equal opportunity and a respect for those around us. Commitment to these principles, despite the ongoing assaults and violence against your community, is so difficult and yet so important. We still have much to learn about building bridges and understanding between communities around the world. But I welcome the fact the Ahmadi community encourages the study of all religions and dialogues between faiths. It must be the case that with greater understanding comes greater peace in the world, and this is, I believe, a lesson to us all. My brief message to you today is twofold. Firstly, engage with the government and my party and make your voice heard. Contribute to the political debate. Help shape the future of everyone here and of the next generation. Shape the next 100 years. Don't just leave it to the politicians, but play your part in it, in how we build a strong economy, how we create an even stronger society, and how we create aspiration in the next generation. Secondly, we can all look within ourselves to say, what more can I do? What difference can I make? Your founder, back in 1889, yes, championed the peaceful teachings of Islam, but also inspired followers with a spirit of compassion, humility and service. That spirit of compassion, humility and peace is what will change this country for the better and create the peace that is needed across the world. Each of us has a responsibility to use that compassion, humility and service to make a difference with the skills and talents that God has given us to create a better world, to leave this world a better place, to do something great with our lives. What mark can we make on this country and on your own countries and on the communities in which we live? In my visits to Pakistan and India this year, I met groups of women who had been subjected to violence, so-called honour-based violence and domestic violence in their own homes. This is a global issue, and I see it even in Hounslow, but an issue which has no place in our society. And I hope that you will join with me and do all you can to support our efforts to eradicate violence against women wherever it occurs. You all have so much to give, men, women and children. The young people here today, you can be the leaders of tomorrow. You will be the doctors, the teachers, the entrepreneurs, the politicians who can shape our future. My role as a Member of Parliament is to do what I can, in some small way, to make a difference to my constituents and to this country. And with your help and support, we can move mountains. Thank you once again for the opportunity to speak at your special event today. The contribution that you make in so many ways is much appreciated and valued. I hope very much that your message of peace continues to flourish in the UK and throughout the world. Living by these principles, each and every one of you can be an example to others and will have helped in making this world a better place. Thank you.
Mary McLeod MP.
Thank you very much, Mary. Next eminent speaker this afternoon is His Royal Highness Al-Hajj Dr. Ahmadu Yakubu. His Royal Highness is the King of Nkwa Kingdom in Nigeria. His Royal Highness is a strong supporter of the Jamaat and has attended Jalsa Salana before and enjoys the atmosphere of this holy convention. It gives me great pleasure to welcome him to this Jalsa Salana and would request him to come and say a few words.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Holy Highness and all the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in the world, I have seen the progress and the success of Ahmadiyya when I came in about 3 years ago. And today I'm seeing the progress of the Ahmadiyya more than what is there. It means God has already blessed the Ahmadiyyas. The Ahmadis are performing like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why do I say that? The message of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for his last visit to Mecca, he left a message when he's making his hood that maybe I'll be with you next year. I've already completed the job Almighty God has given to me. I'm leaving this message for the people that are not present here. Therefore, carry all my message to the people behind. And really, in Islam, I'm seeing the work of Ahmed. It is only Ahmadi that is carrying this message that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam left behind. I've seen the whole world is only Ahmadis that are moving forward. I therefore congratulate His Holiness for his UK centenary and all the Muslims in the world. I need a prayer from His Holiness, because whatever they are doing, there's success in it. For the whole world, I need a prayer from Holiness for the peace. In my country, Nigeria, I need a prayer from Holiness for the peace of my country. For my state, I need a prayer for the peace of my state. And for my kingdom, I need a prayer from the Highness for the peace of my kingdom. I thank Ahmadiyya, and may Almighty Allah progress the Ahmadiyya in future. Thank you very much.
His Highness Dr. Yakubu.
And now we will wait for Hazur's arrival, so I would request you to please remain silent for this period. In the meantime, I'd request Fareed Ahmed Saab to come and read some messages of goodwill that we have received from a number of other civic leaders.
Assalamu alaikum. We've received a number of messages of support for the Jalsa in the centenary year, and I'm honoured to read the first message from Her Majesty the Queen. And she writes that the Private Secretary writes, "The Queen was pleased to receive your kind message sent on behalf of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association UK on the occasion of your centenary, which is being celebrated in Alton this weekend. Her Majesty appreciates your thoughtfulness in writing as you did and sends her best wishes to all those who are present for a most successful and enjoyable gathering." The next message we have is from the Secretary of State for Communities, the Right Honourable Eric Pickles MP, and he writes, "This is a special year for the Ahmadiyya Muslim community as 2013 is your centenary year. Faith institutions and communities have great potential to contribute to society, and the Jalsa shows that by working together for the benefit of the whole country, integration is an achievable goal. I applaud your active engagement with many young people, and it gives me great pleasure to send my best wishes to you all." I believe Hazur is now about to enter the marquee, so we will pause and wait for Hazur Yaktas. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, beloved Hazur. Hazur, we have two more eminent guests this afternoon. First of all, Sir Bernard Hogan, who is the current Metropolitan Police Commissioner. He has a long and distinguished service in the police, and this year was knighted by the Queen in the New Year's Honours List for his services to policing. On behalf of the Ahmadiyya community, I'd like to congratulate Sir Bernard on this great achievement. Our various Jamaats have excellent links with the police across the United Kingdom. The police are excellent ambassadors for the community cohesion, and we hold them in the highest regard. Sir Bernard visited Fazl Mosque in June and had the opportunity of an audience with Hazrat Mir Momineen to discuss a range of issues. He's with us this afternoon, and I'd like to request him to come and say a few words.
Your Holiness, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon everyone, and thank you for the warm welcome and the invitation to address the thousands of you here this afternoon. And for those of you in the audience, from this point of view, this is just a huge group of people, and I've never spoken to this many people before. So as a police officer, I'm slightly intimidated. I also know that many millions of people are watching worldwide, and I really appreciate the fact that His Holiness made the invitation for me to be here this afternoon when so many other people could have spoken. So as Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police Service, this is a momentous occasion. We are 184 years old. However, I very much doubt that in our history a Commissioner has spoken to such a large and indeed such a worldwide audience. And I know that here today it's the centenary for the Ahmadiyya community here in the United Kingdom and I wanted to pay my own tribute to that great achievement. The Metropolitan Police have had a long and close relationship with your annual convention. However, this is a wonderful opportunity for me personally to take part and meet leaders and members of your community. And I'd like to convey the congratulations of the Metropolitan Police Service to you on this, your centenary in the United Kingdom. I'm always keen to learn more about and engage with our friends from all faiths. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community is regarded as one of our team players in policing London and in fighting crime, and I thank you for your support both in London and across the country. What's particularly impressive is that you actively promote multi-faith harmony that reaches beyond traditional boundaries and the barriers that can exist between faiths and communities. The events of earlier this year and the response of faith groups and communities across the country have demonstrated that integration and engagement are the way to tackle those in our society who seek to undermine and divide through violence and seek to confuse politics with beliefs. Communities are at the heart of my total policing vision for London. The police service challenge is to deliver alongside communities we serve within a demographically changing London. Trust and confidence is very difficult to measure, but it is fundamental to all good policing. Without it, we will not get the community support that is essential for our vital role. I wanted to take the opportunity to explain that we are about to recruit 3,000 more police officers in London. And I want to encourage people in the audience to believe that the police service and the Metropolitan Police in particular is a great career, a great profession for anybody to consider. And in this audience there are Metropolitan Police officers, some of whom I've already met and some of whom I haven't, but they've already made that career choice. So for yourselves, for your children, I just hope that you will think it's a worthy thing to keep other people safe in what I think is one of the greatest jobs in the world. I'm striving for a workforce that is more representative of our community. That will help us to plan and deliver our services in partnership according to specific needs, and this will see improvements in our service in a wide range of areas. In victim care and satisfaction, and engagement with young people that's so vital for all of us, which I know your community feels very strongly about, and in dealing with hate crimes and violence against women, particularly amongst minority groups. A more diverse workforce promotes the building of a working environment where all members believe that they are treated with dignity and respect. So finally, thank you once again. I am looking forward to the rest of my visit to your convention. I am confident that our relationship will continue to grow. These are very exciting times for you, which I will follow with great interest. I look forward to speaking to you again at some stage in the future. Have a thoroughly enjoyable time together over these 3 days. And just to remind all of us of something I know that is true to you, which is love for all and hatred for no one. And that's something that binds us all together. Your Holiness, thank you.
Zura, our last speaker is member of the UK Parliament, Stephen Hammond. Stephen is member of the Parliament for Wimbledon. This includes Bethel Fatou Mosque, and he also serves in the government as Minister for Transport. He's a close friend of the community and has spoken at our events many times, and is currently the Vice Chair of our parliamentary group. He is a man of principle and has always been willing to offer his help in local and national issues, and I would like to welcome him to our Jalsa Salana and would request him to come and say a few words.
Your Holiness, Mr. UK President, Assalamu alaikum. I have an advantage over Sir Bernard in that I have spoken at Jalsa several times before. And so, after my mistake on the first time I arrived, when I thought I might be addressing a couple of hundred people, find 30,000 people in the audience was quite a shock. I now make sure I'm relatively well prepared. I hope I will be this afternoon. I'm delighted to attend your 47th Jalsa. I think it's the 6th or 7th time that I've spoken at it. It seems to me that every year this event grows. Every year there are more people here. Every year there are more exhibitions. But every year it's always organised with the same efficiency, humanity and generosity of hospitality towards your guests. I am the Conservative Member of Parliament for Wimbledon, and I'm delighted to be that. I'm also delighted, as Mr Hyatt said, to have known the community for many years. We've worked together locally on a number of issues, and I've been delighted to attend a number of your national functions. And I have been delighted to hear the message of love for all, hatred for none this year resound not only in Wimbledon and not only in London, but across the UK as you celebrate your 100th centenary here in the UK. The Peace Symposium at the mosque in March was probably more widely heard because of the powerfulness of His Holiness's message on that March evening. But also I was delighted, along with a number of my colleagues who are here today, to have been at the event at the House of Commons, which I think truly celebrated the 100 years. And it is right, of course, you should celebrate that message. But more importantly, you should continue to celebrate the work of the community, both in your local areas, in the UK, but also the work of Humanity First. I still remember the extraordinary and fast response of your community when there were international crises, in particular the floods in Pakistan. The charitable work of the Ahmadiyya community is well known and extends far. Sir Bernard was right to talk about you being a key part of the team that works with the police in London. It's also a key part of the team that works with the Mayor of London and, of course, the government of this country. And the Prime Minister would have liked to have been here today, but I have a message for him to say congratulations on your 100 years and thank you for the good works that the Ahmadiyya community does. And it is right that in an increasingly difficult world, not only in the UK but internationally, the message of love for all, hatred for none, the preaching of integration, breaking down the barriers of communities, is always welcome. We live in an uncertain world. There remains considerable and terrible violence in Africa and in other parts of the world, not least the Middle East and Syria. We also live in a world of poverty and where illnesses that are easily rectifiable and curable in the West still kill thousands of people. And so the work of Humanity First is to be celebrated. Your Holiness, your message, which you have given so many times, needs to be heard again, and I hope it will be heard again, resounding from the Jalsa. I'm very grateful for your invitation to be here today. Congratulations to the Ahmadiyya community on your 100th centenary, and thank you for inviting me to speak this afternoon.
Nare Takbir! Stephen Hammond MP! Jamaat Ahmadiyya UK!
So that concludes our session.